All right, so let's talk about the Eagles' victory yesterday on Sunday against New Orleans in Philadelphia. They won 24 to 21. Should have been another field goal, but Jake Elliott missed in the first half. But besides that, they won. They beat the number one defense in the league, the Saints, who have been on a roll, a 9-game win streak. They've been looking pretty unstoppable, even though Taysom Hill's at quarterback. It's still not the end of the world for them because they've obviously been winning without Drew Brees still. And it was Jalen Hurts' first start in his first NFL career start in his rookie year, obviously. After last week, he came in and finished the game out against the Packers. Brought a little bit of life to the team last week, and obviously brought a lot of life to the team this week, and looked pretty good in his first start. So, obviously, with all the controversy with Carson and Jalen, who should start, if Carson should be moved, and on and on and on. I still don't think there's enough evidence off of just one game for Jalen to be the starter for next season or the future or whatever, and Carson to be gone. I think obviously Jalen will start the rest of the year, and he should start the rest of the year based on his performance and based on Carson's performance in the year. But I still need to see more from Jalen throwing the ball, especially because there wasn't a ton of evidence just from his whole complete package of throwing in this game. So we definitely need to see more from the rest of the season to get some more bases on that. So Jalen's stats were 17 for 30 on passes, only 167 yards, but there wasn't a lot of downfield plays. He did miss Jalen Rager on a pretty deep ball in the game, but other than that, there wasn't a lot of downfield plays. He threw the touchdown to Jeffrey, obviously, on that 4th and 2. And then his QBR was 58.5, and then his rating was 83.6. So there wasn't a lot to base off his throwing game. But then in the rushing game, he had 18 carries for 106 yards and an average of 5.9 and a long of 24. And a lot of those, or I guess not a lot, but most of those were scrambling plays where he had to get out of the pocket and then just decided to run. And he has a pretty good run game, so he can get to the first down a lot easier than just staying in the pocket. Just by Jalen Hurts being out there, I just kind of feel more comfortable with him in the pocket because of his scrambling ability and because of how good he is with his legs. He could really be the next Lamar Jackson-esque type player where he can rush and throw. Obviously, I still believe he has a really good arm and he just hasn't been able to show it as much yet. But that's still to come. But he looked really good with getting out of the pocket and scrambling and using his legs. I felt really comfortable with him in there and having that ability to get out and just stay in the pocket and get the pocket collapse on him and everything and get sacked and stuff like that. Some things that Carson struggled with, I think, a little more. And Jalen, I think, has that ability a little bit better. And it just makes you feel more comfortable on the offensive end. And it just helps the team overall. The only bad thing I'd have to say about Jalen's first start was he did miss a couple throws, like the Jalen Rager deep ball, and then when we were up by 10, under 2 minutes to go, we were trying to close out the game, which is running the ball. He did fumble it at midfield to give the Saints another opportunity. They got a touchdown, and then onside kick. For some reason, we almost didn't recover, but we somehow did. I don't know how we recovered that. That should not have happened in the first place. We should have it wouldn't have happened at all if we would have just ran the ball and Hurts didn't fumble. But I mean, you make mistakes. It's his rookie year, so you can't really blame him for that. The offense overall looked a ton better. I don't know if it's just Jalen or I think the offensive line had one of their best games of the year for sure. We got Herbig in at right guard now that Peters is out for the year. I think that helps a lot. And then just the combination that we have right now, it's obviously not like starters, but except for Kelsey and Sayamalu, but it worked a lot better yesterday. Miles Sanders got more touches. He had an 82-yard touchdown, which was really good. Getting him the ball is really important for the offense because we need him to get the ball more because of his explosiveness. Obviously, you could tell on the 82-yard touchdown that that's just what he can do. The offensive line did a way better job in pass protecting. I thought there was a couple times where Jalen had a really long time to throw, and the offensive line looked pretty good on that. And then obviously creating some holes for the running backs like Miles Sanders on that long touchdown. There was a pretty big hole, and then he broke one free with his speed and elusiveness. We need more of that. Miles Sanders had 14 carries for 115 yards and an 8.2 yard average. Obviously, that long run helping the majority of that. And it was the first game in like 55 or 56 games that the New Orleans defense allowed a 100 plus yard rusher, and they had two this game with Jalen Hurts over 100 yards also. So I thought that was a pretty crazy stat and pretty insane. And we haven't had Miles go over 100 yards in a long time. I honestly don't know at all this year, but we really need to get that flow with the run game also because it helped the offense immensely with Jalen running now with his elusiveness, and then Miles Sanders obviously always being a weapon to run. It's just gotta keep up the running game to keep the offense going because look how much better it looked yesterday. Also getting like some sweeps with Quez Watkins or John Hightower. Like yesterday, there was a sweep with Watkins. There's been sweep plays and stuff going on with Rager. We got to get our speedsters and playmakers more involved with the run game and such. I think, and a lot more screens and everything like that. Uh, I think the play calling was a lot better yesterday. There was a lot more like different plays, especially with the running and everything. Like I was talking about with the sweeps and everything like that. And then there was a lot of rollouts with Jalen Hurts, which helps because he has the option to pass on the run or he can just go up and run with it. And I think plays like the rollouts and just better play calling to get the playmakers involved happened yesterday. I just think the play calling was a lot better, and that's why the offense looks so much more smooth. So as much as the offense looked good, I think a big piece, obviously, to us winning yesterday was the defense. And they've been keeping us in games a lot this year, to be honest, and they really stepped up yesterday. The defensive line looked like they looked amazing. They were getting a ton of pressure on Taysom Hill. They were destroying the Saints offensive line. They were getting sacks. They got a whole bunch of sacks. Josh Sweat came up with a big strip sack on a potential fourth down conversion on Saints in the fourth quarter. When they were on a roll, that was a huge, huge play, and it stopped the Saints from rolling on offense and gave us the ball, and then we went down and scored. And it stopped their momentum, and that was huge. Like, the defensive line stepped up big. The D-backs played pretty good. Like, there wasn't a receiver over 100 yards this game. Michael Thomas was their leading receiver, but they run a lot of short routes, so there's not a lot you can do. The big problem was that we had a lot of injuries. Avonte Maddox went out again. Darius Slay went out, and then the big one was Rodney Mccloud, safety, out for the year with a torn ACL. It kind of hurts because he's the heart of the defense. He's like the Malcolm Jenkins type player now, and he's the leader on the defense, and I think he kind of just keeps the defense flowing. Obviously, their safety has got to be one of the leaders and be the caller on the defense. And now he's out, and that one's going to hurt. But there's players like Kayvon Wallace and like Graylin Arnold and such that are going to have to step up. It sucks that we did just cut Will Parks because now he could step in a little more. But the injuries on defense are starting to hurt a little bit, especially, obviously, the D-backs. They're all getting hurt now. And normally it's the offensive side of the ball, but now it's the defensive side of the ball. But other than that, the defense stepped up so big yesterday, and I think that was like one of obviously the main reason that we won the game yesterday. All in all, the team looked good on both sides of the ball for the most part. I mean, they played the Saints, who've been on a 9-game win streak, even winning games without Drew Brees. They have the number one defense in the league, and the offense was flowing. The defense was getting major stops, and just all in all, everything looked good. And Jalen Hurts looked pretty good in his first career start, and then next week we'll have to see what happens against Arizona. They've been a little up and down, so who knows? There's still a shot at the division title and the shot in the playoffs, and we'll just have to keep seeing how Jalen Hurts does, and now with some of the injuries on the defense, how everything goes, especially next week against Arizona. That'll be a big one. So I guess we'll find out.